But moving on from a team that is usurping expectations to a team that always has expectations for themselves, the Dallas Cowboys, and what their expectations now are doggone Super Bowl up until the 2035 with the way that they routed out the New York Giants 40-0, an absolute shutout against the G-Men in a game that was, again, a game that they should have won. Let's be perfectly honest. Across the board, Dallas is a completely better team than the New York Giants. And since that's the case, what I was looking for in this game wasn't just to win, but how they would win. See, it's one thing to beat who you're supposed to be. It's another thing to destroy people that you're supposed to be. That's what happened in this game. That's what makes this legitimately impressive. This is a team in the Dallas Cowboys that is even better, in my opinion, than what last year's team was. Especially now that they got Stephon Gilmore to back up Micah Parsons and Diggs, the other corner who I believe led the league in interceptions a year or two ago, to bolster that defense that the Dallas Cowboys have. On top of Dak Prescott with Tony Pollard, with CeeDee Lamb, and a good wide receiving core. This is a team that is supposed to be, when you run against people like the New York Giants, it's not supposed to be a contest. Because the Dallas Cowboys are built to be something legitimate. They, on paper, should be something serious. On paper, they should be something that is a threat to every single team in the league. On paper. But consistently, they always fall short. And many times it's because they can never beat the people that they're supposed to be. Especially in the fashion when they're supposed to be. That wasn't the case in this game. This game, Cowboys took care of their business absolutely. Pillar to post. No questions asked about it, to the point that many people just turned off the game after the third quarter because it was already over. Micah Parsons was dominant as always. Cowboys had 7 sacks, 2 picks, a blocked field goal for a TD, held Saquon Barkley to 51 yards. I forget what the exact statistic was, but essentially there was a slew of things that had never happened for one team in an entire season. I believe it was a fumble, blocked field goal for a touchdown, picked off twice, and a couple other things. They did all that to the New York Giants in the same game. It was incredible because now there might be some legitimate, real credence and real weight behind the Super Bowl aspirations that all Cowboys fans consistently talk about. No, I'm not one that's trying to jump on the Cowboys bandwagon. Again, I'm a Carolina fan and we got smoked by Atlanta. But even despite that, despite me being in my misery and being in my depressive state of being a Carolina Panthers fan, now with this new season, it's a point of pause. I see what I did there. Yeah, I paused before I spoke. Yeah. But it's a point to say the start of any legitimate championship squad is to get them to see if they can take care of who they need to take care of. If you can dominate who you're supposed to dominate, then we can start looking to say, okay, now this is on to something. Because there's many cases where you can play well against good teams, but then play abysmal against bad teams. We've seen teams play up to the standard of somebody and then absolutely fold against teams that they should absolutely be. There's no consistency. When the opponent is good or bad, there is no consistency when people play against them. But this could be a sign. Again, this is all week 1. All maybe blown out of proportion level opinions. But what we saw is a team that will be able to seemingly be consistently good, irregardless of who they play against. Now again, once they play against tougher competition, will this stout defense still be as stout? And will it be able to score on its own, coupled with an offense of, again, CeeDee Lamb and Tony Pollard? Will this be a situation where both the offense and defense are going to always show up together and produce against anybody in the NFL? Because if that is the case, you're looking at a team that now, yes, okay, this Super Bowl talk will actually be legit. But it's been like that for the past 6 years, the past decade. If your offense can play up to the caliber of your defense, or vice versa, you would be great. That's what we've been saying about the Cowboys. Consistently. And 9 times out of 10, it's always been the offense somehow always folds, despite what the defense brings to the table. And so the point still stands, as it always has, with this Cowboys squad. Everything that this Cowboys team looks to achieve this season, or for any season, boils down to whether or not Dak Prescott is going to be an elite QB or not. Cowboys have always been a playoff contending team. It's just they've had the capacity to make it to the Super Bowl. It's just they never were able to because Dak Prescott consistently was up and down, like a ship on a wave, like a kite in the sky, going up and down, deaking and ducking, changing altitudes at a moment's notice. But he's getting paid and being seen as a legitimate QB. Now this is the time, and this is probably his last year, for him to show that he is set, ready, prepared, poised, and equipped to run the offense and get them to an actual playoff berth and make this team ready for a legitimate run at the Super Bowl, because they can get there. Absolutely, barring injury, they can get there. Of course, in the NFL, anything can happen, and we hope and pray nothing like that does happen. But barring injury, this team is equipped to make it to a Super Bowl. Yes, they are. Memeable hate aside, objectively as a fan, this team is slated to be a Super Bowl contender. Yes, they are. Problem is, Dak Prescott is never poised within himself to perform up to the level to get them to that point. Always faltering, always waning, always making stupid decisions in the biggest moments. Always underperforming when he's getting paid elite money and being trusted by the Cowboys consistently. This is indeed the last year that the Cowboys have with Dak Prescott, in my estimation, to legitimately have a shot at making the Super Bowl, if they really want to get there. Because Dak Prescott, up until this point, has never shown he can consistently be the man, the guy, the big kahuna, the leader, the gunslinger, the sheriff. Never shown that. Always up and down, but never actively on a sustained rise. It could always a situation where he fails as QB, as a leader, in some way, shape, or form. What has normally gone wrong, again, barring injury, has always been Dak Prescott. It's always been him. CeeDee Lamb's always produced. Tony Pollard, ever since he got the main reins, has produced. Michael Parsons in that defense has produced. Stephon Gilmore has produced up until right now. Diggs produces one of the better ball-hawking cornerbacks in the league. O-line's always been the O-line. That vaunted O-line of the Dallas Cowboys. They've only gotten better this season. All around with talent. It's Dak Prescott that has consistently caused worry because we don't know whether or not he's going to actively be what he needs to be to make this team what it can be, which is a legitimate Super Bowl contender. And if Dak Prescott does not perform like he needs to perform, again, we're going to go on the roller coaster of Prescott, the roller coaster of mediocrity. That's what this is, the roller coaster of mediocrity by one player that affects the rest of the team. Because no matter how good the rest of the team can play, Dak Prescott, with his ability to consistently succumb to mediocrity at a moment's notice, will cause this team to falter time and time again. Same thing bodes true for this season. The Cowboys have always been built to be something legitimate. It has been Dak Prescott who has been the guy that has held his team back constantly. Now it's put up or shut up. In my opinion, this is the last year that he's got to actually put up and show that he can actually do something. If not, get him out of there. He's done. On this team, he's done. He's had too many chances. He's had too much of a good ride under the whole of the Cowboys organization. Workhorse or running back, whether it be Tony Pollard or Ezekiel Elliott. He's had Amari Cooper. He's had CeeDee Lamb. He's had Witten. He's had a great O-line. He's had a great defense. He's had everything that you would need. He is not the guy. Up until this point, he's not shown that he can be legitimately the guy. Gotten paid like it, got the respect like it, has been talked about like it, but he's not the guy. He's got the keys, but he can't unlock the door. This is his last time to pick the lock. Because if he can't, they're done.